Hello everyone and welcome to the Health Hub Show. I hope you have been doing amazing. So kama tunavyokuwa tukifuatilia ama tumevyokuwa tukifuatilia, we have been checking a lot on AIDS and HIV. So today tutakuwa tukiangalia a very sensitive topic concerning that. Kabla hata mwezi songe sana. But before that, I want to thank our sponsors for the show today, that is DreamWorks Investment Limited Company, ambao they are the best company to give you the best architectural design. And when we talk about architectural design, not just any design, but the most recent design, the most trending design, and the most desirable design. So don't hesitate, just give them a call and they will give you everything you need. Again, welcome to the Health Hub Show, and I'm your host, Nyambura Kamau. On my right, as you can see, is a very beautiful guest. Nataka tuambie yeye ni nani na amefika huku kutuambia nini leo.
Hi, good people. My name is Clementine Wawera. I'm a nutritionist by profession, and I'm happy to be here today on the issue talking about the HIV, nutrition in people living with HIV. Now that we were having the World's AIDS Day on Sunday, that was on 1st, so I think this topic will be the best.
Thank you very much. So tutakuwa tukisonga na kusonga and focusing on this as much as possible. So what are the key nutrition requirements for people living with HIV and AIDS? Ama they are just regular people as long as they take the medicine?
So to begin with, people living with HIV, they require good nutrition. They need to feed on healthy diets. That is because their immune system works very hard to fight against the virus.
Okay.
So they need to eat a healthy diet that is comprises of the proteins, the carbohydrates, the vegetables. They also need to hydrate.
Oh, okay.
So they need and require all these nutrients, and all these nutritional elements are very essential to them.
They are very essential to them.
Very.
So speaking of nutrition, hebu kwanza tutaje, how many times are they supposed to be eating? Najua kuna watu tunaonanga maybe like, yes, I have HIV, but I'm a normal person. I can eat whatever or whatever I want at any particular time.
The number of eating could be the normal times of a normal human being, like the 3 times, as long as you have a balanced meal or a healthy diet, like your plate comprises of all the nutritional elements that are required, the vegetables, proteins, the fruits, the carbohydrates, and water. You're good to go for 3 times a meal.
Do people living with HIV need more calories than the others? And if so, why?
Yes, people living with HIV require more calorie than others because they need to prevent weight loss. They also need to maintain a healthy immune system.
Okay.
That is because, like we said earlier, their immune system is fighting really hard against the virus. So they require a lot of calorie because you didn't want them to have less kgs. Yeah, so that's why they need a lot of intake. Also to maintain their muscle mass. So they need that calorie.
When we talk about calories, can you give us examples?
Now for the calories, we get them from the carbohydrates because we call them the energy-giving foods.
Okay.
So that is where they get their calories from.
Okay.
Yes.
Speaking of that, now, what are the role of proteins? Maybe how important is protein for individuals?
Proteins are essential because they help support the immune system. They help to give more energy. They also prevent the weight loss.
Oh, okay.
They help preventing weight loss. And somebody would be like, now what are these proteins we're talking about?
Okay.
Now these proteins would be like the meat, fish. We have the low fat dairies like the yogurts. We have the nuts and many others.
And many others.
Yes.
So ni lazima nikulange daily, like in mass or just tiny bitty amounts?
Proteins are a must in your plate because we're talking of a healthy diet. And for you to have a healthy diet, it means in your plate you have the vegetables, you have the proteins, and you have the carbohydrates.
Oh,
yes.
Now, let's talk about which vitamins and minerals are so essential for people living with HIV?
Now, these people, they require more vitamins and minerals because they need to repair their damaged cells.
Okay.
They need the vitamin A, where we get it from the leafy vegetables. They did need the vitamin C, where we get it from the citrus fruits like the oranges, the lemons. They need the vitamin E, which act as an antioxidant. They also need zinc, where we get it from the poultry. And generally, they need to get all these vitamins and minerals from all the nutritional elements that we had mentioned.
Okay.
So they require all that in their diet.
So should there be any supplements for that can boost or they can get at all through this food?
Yes, supplements are needed, but they are given under the guidance of a healthcare professional because you wouldn't want them to interfere with the absorption of the medicine, the ARV that they are taking. So supplements are there because they are also there to maintain still the immune system. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about, you had talked about hydration. Can you tell us the importance of staying hydrated for them?
Hydration is basically drinking water. So that the drinking of water, one, will help in digestion of food. It is going to help in the flushing out of toxins.
Okay.
And it also helps to maintain the organs, the organs in the body like the heart, the kidneys, the livers. So hydration is very, very important. And also it helps to avoid a lot of nausea.
Wow. Now, speaking of which, we are going to shift a little bit, just a little bit, for lactating mothers. But lactating mothers who are living positively. Can you tell us what specific nutritional needs should lactating mothers maybe focus on to support maybe their health and the child's health?
For lactating mothers, they too require a healthy diet.
Okay.
They require because what they eat is what the child is also getting. So they also need to maintain a healthy diet because they also need to watch on their weight. So they are going to observe a healthy diet so that the kid is able to grow well without having the delayed milestones. So they are all in that group of eating a healthy diet.
Speaking of a healthy diet, do they have maybe a plan or a timetable that they can follow or a meal plan to keep up with their diet? How appropriate is it?
For lactating mothers now, the difference would be the number of times they are eating because they are breastfeeding, obvious.
Okay.
And therefore they need more energy. And their meal plan becomes a bit different. That you shift from the 3 times feeding a day to maybe 4 or 5 times a day. Yes, because we also need to look at the amount of milk let down that is coming from the mother so that this child becomes satisfied.
So generally, are there any type or specific type of food that maybe they should avoid?
For people living with HIV and AIDS, I would say majorly the sugary foods, very spicy foods because of nausea, and also they should avoid food that has a lot of fat. Yes, because we wouldn't want them to develop other lifestyle conditions. Yes.
Speaking of that, how the amount they need for maybe energy-giving food, should it be high?
For energy-giving foods, it depends with your kg. These people always go for clinics. And when they go for clinics, the majority of them pass through a nutritionist. And therefore, you'll find that they have the BMI taken, the body mass index. And from there, the nutritionist is able to tell you reduce on your carbohydrates or you increase on your carbohydrates. So it is through the BMIs or maybe the clinics where they get to know what to increase and what to decrease in their diets.
Does the type of work maybe affect the diet that they usually have or they should consume?
Yes. The type of activities they do affect their diet because a person who maybe goes for the building and construction jobs will not eat the same as a person who does the office jobs, because the one doing the construction, a lot of energy is consumed compared to that person who is working maybe from an office. So yes, there's going to be that different in the dietary intake when it comes to energy.
So how can, maybe acha nipeane example, maybe I'm the individual who's living with HIV and AIDS. How can I manage? Maybe kuna times nasikia I don't have appetite, they don't feel like eating or something, but I need to keep up. How do I manage that?
For loss of appetite in people living with HIV and AIDS, we encourage drinking of soups. We encourage people eating with others, their family members, so that the mealtime becomes favorable. We also encourage the eating of the citric fruits.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I would really like to know, unajua, it's not like they are abnormal. They are just people, but who need to boost their immunity. They are just like us, like
Sure.
anybody else.
Sure.
Our target is boosting their health and keeping them safe for everything. We would really like to know, kuna watu wanapenda raha, kuna watu tunapenda kapombe pale, kuna watu wanapenda maybe sigara. I don't know whether it's prohibited or what dangers it brings to an individual. I would really like you to tackle on that. Utuambie, will it affect ama is something I should do about it? But before we get the answer, I want to thank our viewers for keeping up and wanting to learn and know more. So kutoka hapa, we will be getting the answer, and don't go, we are just going for a short break to have a sip of water. I will remind you again, whenever you need an interior decoration, we have DreamWorks Investment Limited Company here for you. They are the people you need. They are the company you need whenever and wherever you are, they will reach out. So usisonge, we will be right back.